Welcome to Witch Hat Chats. Come on in and sit for our spell. We're sponsored by Evermoving We Rise, Moonlight Potions and Charms, and Saul Ravencraft, Wizard for Hire. I am your goddess host, Miss Nikki Kirby, and we have our co-host, Saul Ravencraft. He's around here somewhere. I think he's just come on in. How are
Hey,
you doing,
Nikki,
Saul?
how are you? I am fantastic. I am doing all the things and a little bit more. Uh, there's a lot going on. How about you?
It is very, very great to be here today. I tell you, I have had one of those weeks in which uh, it's been an exhausting week. We're Moonlight Potions and Charms is moving to another site so we can get a new website up. And we have had one of those times in which all chaos has broke loose.
Right?
And the Chaos Dragons just wants to have some little bit of fun with us.
Right?
And hopefully they have settled down.
Indeed. Indeed. Well, and when you have technology in the mix, one of the old ideas and stories about magic and magicians and wizards in the fiction is that magic and technology don't mix. And so someone who surrounds themselves with magic struggles a lot with technology because the energies resist each other. Now, I don't know that I completely believe that. I think that's a self-fulfilling prophecy. And I think also that a lot of people who are interested in magical means are uncomfortable with technology. So it's very convenient to go, oh, no, my witchiness is preventing my technology from working. I just can't do it. I can't use Zoom. I can't do all these things. You have to pay me in gold because I don't know how to use Venmo and all that kind of thing. And, I get it. I totally get that. But I think that moving forward, magic has survived every age of change.
I think that's a cop out too.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, okay, number one, Apollo is for communication. He also does technology. Okay. So that's one thing. That's one god that you can count on when you have to have um techno fuck ups. And then
Yeah.
and then you can use Marie Laveau. I used her this morning to help me with mine. Um and then
Right.
any other goddess god of communication. That's what they're there for. Some people use Saint Expedite for
Mm-hmm.
that. Um, I'm trying to think of somebody else that's a god or a goddess of communication. Papa Legba is
Mm-hmm.
another one, because they open doorways. Hecate opens doorways. Ganesh opens doorways. So, I mean, you got all kinds of magic there. So don't sit here and tell me, oh, magic and technology doesn't blend together. That's a crock of shit.
Right. Um, well, and I think it was either Ray Bradbury or Isaac Asimov that said any sufficiently advanced version of technology is indistinguishable from magic.
Hmm.
For people who aren't familiar with it. And who's to say that the gods don't fly around in starships somewhere? Who's to say that they are just waiting for us pitiful humans to catch up with them? And I love to blend it all together. What we're doing here. Normally we would have to go and and rent a campsite and get people to come to us to watch us jabber at each other for an hour. And now people can do it in their pajamas. They can even do it skyclad if they want to. It doesn't matter to us. We get to reach everybody, and that alone, I think, is beautiful. The access to texts. We've talked before about how it used to be really hard to get hold of stuff. Now it's kind of easy to get hold of stuff if you wanna, and the ability to interact across the miles. You and I are kind of far apart, but we're able to interact just like we're in the same room together. And you don't have to smell me, which is a great benefit. Uh, you know, it's so I think honestly the movement of magic, or the movement of technology, if it's used correctly, gives people more opportunity to use their energy and their time for things that they used to have to do with their own hands. And then they can apply that to what they want to manifest. So I'm bullish on it all. Your mileage may vary.
All right. Well, I just want to let everybody know that I am going to be at the Water Priestess Confluence from April 5th to the 7th. It is an online convention. We've got Water Priestess that will be attending there from all over the world, including Lilith Dorsey. She will be one of the ones. And I will be teaching a workshop called Diving Deep into Shadow Work with Yumaya. And I'm very excited to be able to do that. So this is going to be my first time participating in this workshop. And so all of that, to be able to get into that, will be in our notes. So I would, if I were you, go ahead and get your tickets now, because the sooner you get your tickets, I think the early bird, the last day for the early bird is February 28th, I believe. They're not taking the leap day this year, which I'm like, they should do it like a special thing for leap day,
Right.
this year, because leap day is only what, every 4 years, I think,
Yeah.
you know. But they're not including leap day for some reason. But anyway, their last day is for the 28th, which is going to be the early bird special, and then it goes up again. So it's a really, really good great workshop convention to be able to go to. And like I said, I'm looking forward to it. And just go to the website that's in the notes, and I'll see you there. So, all right. So you want to know what our divination is for today, Mr. Saul?
Yes, what you got for us?
All right. So our divination today is sponsored by our tea that we are drinking. And we drink positive energy tea today. Yes, today I've got the positive energy tea. Because guess what? I needed positive energy because I forgot about the recording today. And Mr. Saul was so nice to turn around and say,
We make it all work. Yeah, we figure it out.
and I'm like, we are? Oh, shit.
It's a French
All right.
phrase. Ce n'est pas la mer à boire. It is not to drink the sea. Not that big a deal.
Oh, yeah. So even Miss Nikki at times does forget her stuff, even though it was on the calendar. Okay. So today, the divination is opportunities are like sunrises. If you wait too long, like I did, you miss them. Seize the day. So that's what we did.
We did.
And Mr. Saul, how does that apply to you today?
I've got one leftover thought where you're talking about how your illusion of power shifts a little bit, your illusion of control. And I think about the fact that everybody who has a cat, and the cat has attitude, maybe it's a familiar, maybe it brings power to you, but you're going to find some time where that cat is sitting there with its tongue sticking out and it doesn't know. Right?
Right.
It's sitting there just and we all have that. And my gosh, laughter is a gift. We got to laugh at that kind of stuff. That I think is one of the biggest breakthroughs I've had is when I'm trying to do something and it's flipping around and I'm falling down and all that. There was a time where I would rage about that. And now I laugh. You know, when it doesn't work this way and it doesn't work that way, I appreciate how ridiculous it is. And I laugh with it instead of being angry about it. And you know, that I think fits in a little bit with what we're talking about here. Since I went down the rabbit hole, I'm not nearly as angry as I used to be. And it's about taking the opportunities, not feeling like I've got to be in control of everything that's going on and every aspect of what's going on. And if something didn't work, then I've lost my control and I'm failing. And my God, how full of yourself do you have to be for that? And quite honestly, just about every time something doesn't go according to plan, there's a hidden treasure in there.
Yeah.
You know, it's an opportunity to go, well, I'm never going to do anything with you again because you suck. This is the tipping point. So we're done. And I don't have to deal with that energy anymore. I mean, that's kind of an extreme. But, you know, I've had situations where something I was doing just took so long for it to happen. I had to wait and wait and wait, and I couldn't do anything useful in the meantime. So that's a great opportunity to catch up on a TV show or read a book or treat myself to a nice lunch or something.
Right.
And those moments are they're happening. They're happening right now. And you can stew
Right.
about it. Or you can talk to the manager, right? Or eat the sushi. That's the way I think
And
about it anyway.
hope you don't die from it.
Yeah. Uh, not so far.
Well, the thing about it is if you look at it through a Zen point of view, control is an illusion. You're never in control of anything. Never in control of anything. Zen is all about not being in control of anything. And if you want to be in control, you are never going to be you're never going to be able to do anything in Zen mode, because Zen is all about letting go of control. And the thing about it is, and what I was thinking about while you were talking, Saul, is how people go around and they start talking and they start talking about unpleasant things about people,
Right.
starting these rumors, these nasty rumors about people and everything. And it gets these people so tore up, the targets of these rumors. And it gets them so tore up. And rumors sometimes they cause a lot of damage,
Yes.
to the targets and everything. And and here's the thing. I know I've been a target of a lot of rumors, and you probably have too from time to time.
I've had my moments.
All right. So I remember a few years ago, and I've even had these rumors even come popping up as of last year again. And they're
Sure.
still around. And I don't even know why. I don't even freaking care. Okay. This young lady, she came to me, and she was in tears, crying to me about certain rumors that were coming, that were approaching her. And I told her, I said, honey, sit down here, sit down. I mean, she was trembling, she was crying. And I told her, I said, you're the one that needs a seat, not me. And she was crying, and and I is wrong. And she told me what the rumors were. And it was stupid. And I'm not even going to say it because it's not even worth repeating. But she told me what it was. And I smiled and I laughed because it's so freaking ridiculous. It's not even worth repeating. Okay.
Right.
And she looked at me and she said, it's awful. It's an awful, awful rumor. She said, I just met you and I know this is not what you are. And why is this going around about you? Who can come up with something so nasty, and why are you laughing about it? I said, well, you just answered your own question. I said,
Right.
why would I go ahead and acknowledge that person's energy with something if I get angry?
Mm-hmm.
That's what they want me to do. They want me to get angry about it and get upset and acknowledge their rumor.
Right.
That's what they want me. So why should I do that? Laughter is the best defense, because when you are laughing about it and you're having a good time with their so-called bullshit, and I'm sorry, it is bullshit. Or you can also call it horseshit, whichever one that you want to call it.
Whatever shit works for you.
Right, right. You are at least letting them know, or it's actually going back on them, and it's showing their character.
Right.
You know, the person that actually redid this rumor, I've actually had a conversation with this person, and they told me, they said, well, I can't help what other people say.
That's right.
And I agree, and I'm like, really? You can't even go on your show and hey, this is not what I meant. This person is not this way. And pull back what you had done. You can't even say that.
A shit spreader has one job.
Right. You can't even pull that back, really?
Well, and you know, some of my philosophy about this kind of thing is sometimes when people cast you as the villain, it's time to build a bloody dark tower. And because in many cases, people, I think they engage in that sort of thing because there's fear going on there. They are afraid, they feel threatened. And so to them, that is what they think that they can do to defend themselves and reassert themselves. And I discover and rediscover over and over again that the only real answer to that is you make it all irrelevant. You quit, and you'll see this with successful famous people, movie stars, and people we like in many different avenues, thought leaders and that kind of thing. Some ignorant person says something that tries to vilify these people, and they write articles and put up YouTube videos about all that, and these people haven't seen it. They don't read those reviews. They don't look for all that. They don't do Google searches for who's saying shit about me. Right? They just keep doing their thing. And you also find that the people that tend to spread that get very, very nervous about anything that is misinterpreted or misunderstood, or where they're not being raised up and glorified by people. You know, we're not everybody's cup of tea, and we shouldn't be trying to pour it down their throat. So, you know, I hope that young lady took the lesson to heart, that some of that is funny. I told the story a while back about Teddy Roosevelt when he was, I think, governor of New York, and his political opposition, the Union people and all that, held a parade. And it was all just a sarcastic roast of a parade. Every single person there was basically just giving the finger to Teddy Roosevelt. And he laughed. He thought it was hilarious. People came up to him afterwards and he shook their hand and congratulated them for their great humor and all of that. And then he did whatever he was going to do. he didn't let them upset him, because he knew who was in charge of what he was doing. And you know, that's a story I really try to keep in mind. You can let those people live rent-free in your head and give them your energy, or you can just keep your eyes on the road ahead.
Yes, it's just like the Mad Hatter said, and I quote, "I am under no obligation to make sense to you."
Exactly.
And with that, we are going to listen to our sponsors with their absolute wonderful messages, and we will be right back with Witch Hat Chats. Stay tuned. Anybody can tell you what is on a tarot or oracle card. What matters is seeing beyond what others may not be able to see and help the client to uncover what lies in the mist. What do readings from Moonlight Potions and Charms do? Wednesday, I did this ancestor reading, and it was an amazing reading. And it was a detailed reading. And I remember talking to this customer's ancestors, and it was so delightful. And he wanted some questions to be answered about the magic in his family, because he didn't know. And his family was mostly like most of our families are. You know how everything is like hush hush when it comes to the magic in his family. And he wanted to know, who can he actually talk to about the history of the magic in his family? And I was able to give him specifically who he can go to talk to about that. What particular deity he can actually go to be able to help him with this. And it was just an amazing reading, and talking to his ancestors, they were such a delight, and they told me so much about this customer. It was just an absolutely wonderful reading for him, and I was just so happy to be able to give him this wonderful reading. It's really amazing to be able to give people these readings, these products that's really going to help them, and be able to give back to the community, because this is what Moonlight Potions and Charms is about. We want to help you to embrace the power of your own magic. That is what we are all about. It's to help you to do that. Book now and allow our wonderful staff to take care of your spiritual reading needs. And there is so much more. and our Wicked store to help you to embrace the power of your own magic. So come on in to Moonlight Potions and Charms at www.moonlightpotionscharms.com and discover the wicked things that ignite the magical passion in you. Have you wondered what spirituality is? Spirituality is limitless, as it does not contain any boundaries on beliefs or practices. Spirituality's most important component is personal experience and allows one to explore it freely. Evermoving We Rise is a spiritual moving tradition, as our name is our lifestyle, because we are persistently rising and moving forward. We realize that everyone's spiritual journey is extremely personal, but more easily traveled with reinforcement. We'll teach you to become friends with your shadow, emerge your authentic self, and give you time and space to develop your own spirituality. And when situations bump back, you'll have the entire community behind you, as we are a magical family who work to sustain each other. Discover the benefits of working within a society dedicated to helping you grow on your personal path. Visit us on our website, Linktree, or Facebook page and discover why we don't fit in the box.
Hey, welcome back to Witch Hat Chats. I am here with Miss Nikki Kirby, and we are just going deep down the well today. Come join us in our cathartic day of getting over people's stuff, and getting over our own stuff. Why is it? So I saw a post the other day from a friend that explained that because she chooses not to drink alcohol in a social setting, that you don't have to worry about that. And I'm just thinking to myself, what the hell kind of person wants you to break your sobriety because to be like them? I mean, why can't they, none of your business. What does it matter? you can still have fun. They're not judging you by drinking cranberry juice. They're acknowledging aspects of themselves and they're staying true to themselves. And why in the world do people just get all messed up about that stuff?
I don't understand that either. Okay, first of all, I've never been an alcoholic. Okay. When I was a teenager, yes, I would drink and I could outdrink anybody. I would go to sleep and I would wake up, and you never thought I ever had a drink in my life. Okay. When I turned 21, I didn't want to drink anymore because
Right?
the reason why I drank was because it was rebelling. And then, when you turn 21, it's legal. So what's the point? Okay. There was no point in it. All right. Every now and then I will drink, but most of the time I'm not going to, because 9 times out of 10, I really just don't like the stuff. And I really don't feel like drinking, or I'm the one that's driving. Okay.
Right?
And if I'm going to be doing the driving, I am not going to be drinking. Okay. And I'm not going to let some drunk get behind the wheel. Oh, hell no.
Right?
Okay. I'm also the one that doesn't drink that much. And besides, I was taught how to properly drink, which most people are not. But if you are an alcoholic or a former alcoholic, and especially if you're a former alcoholic, I don't want you to break your sobriety. Hell
No.
no. No. So I'm not going to sit here and say, hey, you're going to have a drink. That is your business. Don't break your sobriety. Hell, if you want to have a Coca-Cola, go ahead and have a Coca-Cola. I'm going to have a Coca-Cola 9 times out of 10, or a Sprite. 9 times out of 10, I'm going to have water.
Right?
That's me. If you don't like it, you can kiss my ass, because it's none of your business.
It's amazing how many things about us are really nobody else's business. And it's also amazing how many things about other people are not really our business either.
You know what, Saul, what is really amazing is that with females, we have to be so cautious about what we drink, and we have to take our drinks with us everywhere we go, even to the bathroom with us,
Right?
because some idiot is going to put something in our drink, and it's going to cause us to um, either get us in trouble, and we always have to watch that.
Right?
We
Right?
can't even trust people that we go out with to not put something in our drink.
Yeah.
And that's really sad.
It is.
It's sad when I'm having to take my drink to the toilet with me. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And I'm having to pick it up and everything. And it's just, the first time I ever had to do that was at a speed date thing. And I'm going to tell you something. Speed dates are very, very sad. And I've never done it since. I have never done it since. Okay. Because if you want to have a joke and a time from hell, you go to a speed date. Because
Right.
what they do at the speed date is they put you and several others in these tables, and you've got like a minute to talk to the opposite sex.
Right.
Okay. And most of the time, the men, they ask you um stupid things. I think I talked to them. They asked me about my ex. They wanted to know about my ex husband. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
really? And even one asked me about a shooting, a school shooting. And he
Uh-huh.
said that his daughter went there, and he was proud that his daughter went there. And I'm like, why? I would be upset. And
Right.
before I could find out if his daughter was a shooter. I thought his daughter was a shooter. Hell, I didn't know the guy was strange as freaking hell. I thought, and at the time I was a mental health professional, and I thought I was interviewing my clients, my potential clients. That's the way I figured it out. I was like, damn, I didn't want to date any of these people. They were all mental.
I hear you.
Yeah, and that was the first time I ever had to take my drink to the bathroom.
Oh my
And I
goodness.
thought, I never want to do this again.
Well, I think this also connects with some of the stuff that we've been talking about here, in that our current culture is very much about votes, about how many stars you get, about peer review as to whether or not you should be allowed to exist, and a lot of that is not real stuff. And if we treat it as though it's real, okay, now this is assuming that you are not actually an asshole, right? If you are a narcissistic asshole and you are receiving feedback, negative feedback about how you're connecting with people, then yeah, you might want to pay some attention to that, and
Right.
maybe get some help. But you were talking earlier about that poor girl that was upset about what was going on, and not feeling comfortable with her community. And if your spiritual practice does not bring you joy, then it's not the right practice for you.
Right.
You really shouldn't wake up every day in dread and fear because of your connection with the universe. If
Mm-hmm.
your community is not making you feel like you're a part of it, that you matter, and that they want you to exist, then you're in the wrong community.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's really important for us to trust ourselves with that, and edit and ignore. And I think what you can do is, so there's a friend of mine that was a psychologist, and another friend of mine spent time talking to him about some things, and they got to talking about some of the complications with their spouse, that they would just, this stuff would go on and these arguments would break out, and it was just awful. And he said that what he did now is his wife would come up to him and she would say something odd, and possibly even a little offensive, and he wouldn't try to fix it. He wouldn't try to explain it. In his mind, not out loud, this is important. In his mind, he would go, well, that's interesting. I really have no idea why she's saying that or thinking that, or this is really important to her right now, and I don't have to know. It's not normal for her, and so it's an aberration, and it's not a problem to be solved. So instead of snapping back or mansplaining or whatever the instinct was, he would just go, well, that's interesting, and leave it be. And it changed everything. And I think that's wonderful.
The thing about the communication between men and women, okay, and I'm going to give you guys this hint. Men, they want to fix everything. We women, we don't want you to fix everything. We just want somebody to listen to us. That's all we want sometimes. We don't want you to fix it. We just want somebody to listen. That's it. We would just want to get it out. That's it. And that's magic for us.
Well, and not everybody's wired that way. Not every woman is like that.
I
My
know.
wife is not like that.
But if she does, but if we do want your opinion on it after we get it out, we usually ask, but not all the time.
Right.
It's a lot of times I'm sitting here and when I just want to get it out. It's me. I'm one of those people that I do. Everybody's like, you talk to yourself a lot, and my mom's like, do you answer yourself? I said, yes. I need great advice. I need advice from an expert. And if I answer myself, I if you ask a question, you have to answer it. Yeah. Otherwise, how are you going to know the answer to it? And so, yes, I have conversations with myself.
Right.
Duh. To get the answer to it. Because there's no other person in the damn space, in my space, that's going to be able to answer the question for me most of the time. Right. But a lot of times, I like to just get it out. I don't want somebody to give me the answer, because 9 times out of 10, there's not an answer for it. If there is, I will ask. Okay, so what is your opinion? What is your regards? And if I ask that, then yes. But if I just turn around and just say, damn it all to hell, and I start blah, 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 I just want to get it off my chest, and I'll feel fine. Right. And then I'll move on.
Well,
but
and our culture,
most guys, yeah, and that's the culture thing too.
Well, our culture, when we moved into sort of a marketing driven culture, where we're getting ads all the time, you're rarely shown an ad for something that says, you can solve this problem all by yourself. You know everything you need to know. You have everything you have. You don't need to buy anything. You don't need an expert. You just need to think, and you can do it. I mean, that's not really the message we typically get. But it's the truth. Is for most of us, we have the power to do what we need. But we have to think. We have to keep our own counsel. We're not the idiot whisperer. Right?
Well, that's because we're not taught to think critical thinking anymore.
Right.
We're taught to follow the freaking leader. And we're taught to take orders. We're not taught to think critically. And when they say think on your own, people look like, what does that mean? Think outside the box. What does that mean? They don't understand that anymore. It's just like everybody wants to do the group think thing.
Right.
And I'm like, why?
Well, it gives you plausible deniability, right? That wasn't your idea. That wasn't your risk. You were just going along with everybody else.
Well, it's going to give me deniability anyway when it's my own thought, because who's going to know it's my thought?
Right.
Really, unless I voice it and somebody else hears. And even if I do, I can say, that wasn't me. That was him over there. I can always deny it. Or did I say that? Really?
But you wouldn't. You don't.
I said that, really? I don't know. I don't know.
one of the things that happens a lot when I do readings. So when I do readings, I always have at least a couple of decks of cards out. In some situations, I'll have a deck of playing cards and I'll have a deck of tarot cards. I'll usually toss in the Halloween Oracle deck because it brings me a lot of joy. And I love when people pick from that. But sometimes I'll have several decks out. There will be, 6, 8 decks out there so that you can just connect with whatever feels good for you. And I'll say, I need 2 cards face down right here. You can dig, you can shuffle, you can mix and match, however you want to do it. 2 cards face down right there. From anywhere? Use, and I literally just told you. Right. And I see a lot of that kind of thing. For me, I like to play around with things. I like to tinker. I like to try something and see how that works and see if it works for me, because not everything does. And so I'll get in and I'll dig into something, and I get very frustrated by all the feedback that you get. What is the best thing to use for this? Right? You'll see this on the forums and the witchy forums. This is what I'm trying to accomplish. What is the best spell for me to cast? Who is the best deity for me to go to? How do I not get this wrong at all? How do I make sure that it works perfectly the first time without me having to understand it? It doesn't exist.
Right. Right.
Right.
It's like it's like in the mornings, if my mom's in the bathroom and I knock on the door, to make sure it's her and not my nephew Brandon, and I knock on the door and I said, Mom, I just want to make sure it's you. And she says, Nikki, is that you? And I look at her and I'm looking and I grin and I said, no, it's not me.
Right.
And she said, Nikki, stop being a smartass. I'm sorry, I can't help it.
Well, if she didn't want you to be a smartass, she shouldn't have raised you as one.
I can't help it. The goddess made me that way. It's just when people want to know what's best for this and best for that, don't ask stupid questions.
Well, no, there's no such thing as a stupid question if you're trying to gain knowledge.
When it's the best, what is the best for you?
Right.
Okay. Like for example, okay, the best for me may be Mama Brugier, okay? And the best for Saul may be, I don't know, Zeus, okay? I'm just throwing something out. Or it may be something else.
Because of this?
For him. Whatever. Okay? And it may not be. Hell, he may end up being with Aphrodite, okay? That may be the best one for him, okay?
Right.
But it's got to be something for him. I can't turn around and suggest something. I can make a suggestion, but it may not be the best one for him. He's got to make his own choice.
Right.
He's got to make his own choice for the herbs that are the right for him. Or maybe it's not even herbs he's going to even suggest. Hell, he may not even use any damn thing for his spell. Okay? When you're asking about a spell, you don't want to say, I want to do the best here, best there, and best. Do your own research and say, okay, this is the research I've done. Don't say, I want to make sure I get it right. Okay? Don't make sure. Don't do that. Because you're fucking yourself over, okay? Right. You're already telling the universe, hey, guess what? I've done my research, but I'm not going to do it right. So I want to let you know that in advance. That I'm not going to do the spell right. So when I'm doing the spell, don't cast it because I'm not going to do it right.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I'm much more of a thaumaturgist at heart, which means that what I tend to do is I tend to not look at deities and things like that specifically. I don't petition deities for things typically. I learn their stories. I love the ideas of all of the different gods and goddesses and stories and such throughout culture. But ultimately, I see this as between me and the universe, me and creating that vibration. And so while I may be inspired by Zeus, I dress like him, why not? I may be inspired that way. I'm not necessarily asking permission. Because to me, that's all driven by the will and what I apply into things, and so that's the way I do things. And so if you're having a conversation with me about which god should you pick, I'm probably going to say, well, are you sure you need a god for this? Or what is it you're trying to get from that? What relationship have you developed, right? You can't just walk in and say, hey, gimme without having a relationship. So I tend to push on those kinds of things. And when people, it goes back to what I was saying before, it should be joyful. It should be a gleeful thing for you. I know for you, you have developed a strong relationship with Hecate. You have developed a strong relationship with the Loas. And you did that on purpose. The same way that we develop good relationships with anybody. We spend time, we get to know them. We participate in things that they like. And we open ourselves to them. It's just because they're gods doesn't make any of that process any different. And right. I love the connection that you have and the comfort that you have from that. And that's a great way to do it if that works for you. And if it doesn't work for you, we spent the last several thousand years coming up with other options that will fit exactly what is good for you. Now, that doesn't mean that it's all going to be easy. It doesn't mean that it's not going to challenge you, right? But it does mean that it's going to do it in a way that makes sense to you. And you will want to do it. And it doesn't matter what this person or that person says. Because they don't know. They're not the god of you.
Right. And with that, that's the end of our show. So, embrace your power, support your community, and keep your fuzzy babies, your family, friends, and yourself safe. And have an absolute magical week.
I know some people who like to chat. I think they're witches, how about that? And every Sunday at 12 o'clock. And if you're hurting, they're willing to talk. Nikki curving with that black stone. I agree, Evermoving We Rise. Life and soul will the beautiful mind. I give you blessings under moonlight. I know some people who like to chat. I think they're witches, how about that? And every Sunday at 12 o'clock